Okay, we're in part 2 now of the questions for the funky farmer. And if you saw part 1, I stopped because I was just being done a lot of questions. We're going to start with some more. Hopefully I won't need to do a part 3. Are you in an MVZ? If so, what are your views? Thankfully we're not. We're not in a nitrate vulnerable zone. We were up until a few years ago, and we got taken out of it, which would have caused us problems with slurry store. This gentleman's Nick saying about the problems he's got with his slurry store overflowing and everything like that. Difficult time if you're in an MVZ, because it really restricts what you can do about when you put your muck on. Nice. How long do cows live, and how long is a useful productive life? Cows live quite a long time, but their productive life's shorter. I mean, we've got some cows that probably go to 10 years, but more intensive units get rid of them a lot earlier than that. All depends, just like people really, all depends how fit they are. How many times a winter do you muck out the sheds? Well, some of the big sheds don't really, what we call big sheds, don't really muck them out till the spring. They can go through the whole winter, and some of the calf sheds have to be mucked out several times. What's your favourite car? Ooh, I don't really have a favourite car. The next one. Favourite car? I don't know. I'd like. Do you know? I'd love if I won loads of money. I'd love to buy myself a Range Rover. There you go. Might be a bit flash, but wouldn't that be nice to have something like that to go around in? Maybe a Freelander, but not quite so flash. How many acres of maize do you plant? And what do you do if the cow's milk production goes down? Maize, not that much, 15 acres. If it goes down, panic and look at what you're doing wrong. How's cutting going? Well, we'll finish that now. Favourite cow's name? I think there's one called Eleanor, which is, my dad named all the cows, and he named them after my Auntie Eleanor. And she's no longer with us now, so it's quite a nice thing to have done. Would farming be worth going into as a job? If you like losing money, yes. Or hard work. No, it can be rewarding. You've got to go into it if you like it, not because you think you're going to get rich. What was your big tractor called? That's from the McCormick. Nice to see you back. Show us your tractors. Wow, show us your tractors. Do you have any hobbies such as shooting and fishing? I don't actually do any shooting and fishing, not because well, I do occasionally do a bit of clay pigeon shooting. But hobbies wise, I'm just so busy at the moment with 2 young kids and everything. I don't have a lot of time for myself, so I like to go out with my mates and have a chat and a beer. But you know, by the time I've got home and finished work and everything, most of my time's with the kids really. I come again when they're older, I think. Favourite job? Can you do on tour? Has there been any improvement in the milk price situation? Yeah, the milk price has gone up. It's hovering about 27p at the moment, I think. Needs to go up more really. I'm slightly worried that they're talking about it maybe going back down again because there might be too much milk again for this summer. Can't be sure. The problem is, you know, we're only just coming through a low price now, and then they're talking about going back down. It's like, oh, please just give us a break. How long farming? I'm sorry, I'm just skipping over these, the ones that I've answered the question before. So if you're the person who's asked me do a farm tour, you're about number 8 who've asked me that. So you'll have to look back at the video and see what my answer is. What do you think of a deer? What's your favourite tractor? Can you do go through the history of your family on the farm? Yeah, moved here in 1822 and continued on. And I think the older brother of my grandfather was supposed to get the farm, and then he died from cancer. So my grandfather inherited the farm instead of his brother. And then so when that happened, my dad moved down to the farm in about 1940 something. I'm sort of not exactly sure of the dates, and then we've been there since. How many cows are you milking? Do you guys have a quota system for your milk? Sorry, it's difficult for me to look at you and read this, and then the government got rid of it. Oh, didn't you guys have a quota system and the government got rid of it? Would you like to go back to the old system now that the price of milk is in the dumps? Here in Canada we have a supply management quota system. It works very well for farmers and consumers. Difficult one to say, isn't it? When we had quotas, everyone thought they were rubbish, but actually, do you know what? They did control the market and stop the milk production going through the roof. And it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years, because I think quite possibly there might need to be some sort of situation like that if we keep pumping it out. Would you consider building a slatted shed? Oh, I don't know much about them. I always think they look a bit uncomfortable for the cows just stood on concrete. I quite like the idea of the cows bedding down in loose housing, but I can see the practicality of it, so I'm not sure. When you were silaging corn, the driver of New Holland was dumping right in front of the clamp. Why didn't he reverse into it so it would be easier for the driver of the JCB? Shed looks tall enough for the trailer. I think that's down to the guy on the loading bucket of what his choice of how he loads it. I don't, the trouble is if you dump a trailer load of silage into the back of the trailer, it's very hard for the guy with the bucket to then spread it around getting a bucket at a time because you've got a huge lump of silage in front of you. So it's actually probably better to have it outside the shed and then put that load in at a time and do a good job in the shed without having it all congested. Have you ever heard of Steiger tractors, and if so, have you ever got one on the farm? No, I don't really actually know much about Steigers. I presume someone says they're big, someone says they're badass tractors. No many milking on a small scale. Are you close to quitting dairy for your own sanity and bank account? Stephen, well done mate. Not yet. We manage. How many of you work on the farm and have moved on the farm? Not quite sure what that means, but there's me and my brother there and a couple of guys who come in and help us every now and then. Will you ever get a new tractor? Nice to have a new one, wouldn't it? Brand new one, but that's never going to happen. We'll buy a second-hand one perhaps. But there's no need at the moment because really, unless they wear out, we're not going to change them. What is the next piece of machinery you hope to buy? Probably be a new muck spreader, but God knows, not sure when that'll be. Price per litre, what machinery have you got on the farm? Don't have a lot of machinery, muck spreader, scraper, tractors, loaders, a few mowers, tedders, bits and bobs really, not a massive amount because we use contractors. Can you do a video of Farm Simulator 2017? Might do that with Jack about something about Farm Simulator videos at some point. How much of the farm is corn, how much silage and grazing? Well, I said 15 acres of corn, obviously from America because we call it maize. The rest is grass and that's mixed between silage and grazing. If you had £100,000, what would be the first thing you'd do on the farm? Have a massive party and just enjoy my life. £100,000. Again, you might think about the milking parlour first. Which tractor prefer, the Massey 690 or the Massey 265 or the 135? Well, we'll go for the 135, although 265 is good. Would you rather have New Holland, John Deere or Massey Ferguson? Massey Ferguson. Would you do a video of controls on your tractor? That might be interesting. Yeah, I might do that at some point. I have done a tour of a tractor once, so I did go through that a bit. I have to have a look through my videos. Would it be possible for you and all the other big farming channels to meet? I don't know. I don't actually know much about the other farming channels. To be honest, I don't really look at the other YouTube. My kids look at the videos, but I don't really look at a lot of other video channels on YouTube because I kind of feel if I'm not careful, I might start copying them, and then it sort of loses what I do or their style. Can you do the week in the life of a funky farmer? It's not that interesting. You're better off having it like it is. Think of owning or using an electric tractor on your farm if the tech was up to that of a normal diesel. As the battery tech has now got really advanced and John Deere have done an electric tractor already, I'll tell you what, if we've got an electric tractor I'd be one of the last to get it, not one of the first, because technology like that usually goes through massive loads of teething problems, and you find the early models, like anything, aren't as good as the later models. So I'm sure that something like that will come, providing it can provide enough power, because you need a lot of power and that's why diesel engine is really good. But I wouldn't want to be an early adopter. What machine will you buy in the future? Hard-working agriculture? I think that's a yes. Will you be putting maize in once again? Yeah, we'll be doing maize again. Would you go whole chop? Well, I don't know about it. Just on the really farm. Favourite time, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm flipping through these. There's a lot of repetitive ones, so we'll skip these. Would you get a GoPro with a head strap? Maybe, but I feel a bit of a wally walking around like that, and I quite like just using my camcorder because I can zoom and stuff, and I've got control where I point. Where's the GoPro? I'm going to be not sure where I'm filming. Everyone says that. I might get it one day. If you buy a bigger tractor, what would it be and what horsepower? I won't buy a bigger one because they're big enough for what we use. How many meals? How How many cows do you milk in an hour during milking? I can probably get through 45 to 50 if I really pump them through. How come we don't shear, grab the sides and put it in front of the cows? It's just what we've always done, and I haven't changed it because we need to change the system. So we've got cover for area for feeding. We haven't got that. Which one? A Ford TW152535 or my what is? Not sure what that's about. Pass on that. Would you ever consider spring calving as opposed to calving all year round and increasing your stocking rate? Spring calving is not really the way to go now because they're penalising you for producing too much milk in the spring. So really, we need to probably pull it back a little bit to autumn calving. What do you think the government should do to help with the TB situation? One answer to that: sort out a vaccine, and then we can all get back to our proper jobs and not have to worry about blooming testing them. You know, never mind the badgers. That's a different issue. Sort out a vaccine. I've been hearing about a vaccine coming for years and it hasn't arrived, and we just need it. I think there is something about it that you could vaccinate cattle, but it causes a problem with the test and it might give a false positive. So that needs to be sorted. Why don't you use John Deere? Well, I've answered that before. Why don't you update the milking parlour? It'll be a lot faster and easier. Yes, please throw me 100 grand and we will. Thank you. Glad to see you back. Living on a ranch and do yourself moving back onto the dairy farm so your children might possibly happen? I can't say. How much does this farmer make a year? Not enough. There's an answer. Have you ever had a hydraulic problem in your 3-point hitch? If so, how do you fix it? Actually, we've got a problem with the 3-point linkage on the CX95 at the moment, and I'm going to have to get that down the engineers to fix because I can't fix stuff like that. Right, we're getting up the top now a bit. I don't know how many more I've got to go, so we're going to keep plowing through these. Lots of questions. Do you see a good future in English farming and farming in general? Prices don't reflect the importance of farming. At the end of the day, the processor retailers don't have hardships the farmers have. That's very true. There's always going to be a future in farming. There's always going to be people keen to farm, and what you got to understand is I don't really show you necessarily the best side of farming. I'm showing a little small farm, and to be honest, we're not get ahead and go out there and do big stuff farmers. So in my lifetime, I'm not going to achieve the best farm around. So, but some of the other farmers are really get out there and go for it, people, and they will make money and they will succeed. So there is opportunities. It is hard, the fact that the processor retailers have a lot more control, but what can you do? You wouldn't be a farmer. No. Would it be possible for your family to convert to organic dairy and help increase price? Possibly. The problem with that is it did happen around here a few years ago. A lot of people converted to organic and it flooded the market, and then the price went through the floor, so a lot of them got back out of organics. So it's a bit of a volatile market. I don't know whether that's good to go into now or not. How's the grass coming along? Much growth yet? When do you think the cows will be back out? Since winter wasn't too bad. There's not a lot of grass growth in our fields. It's certainly not too bad, but no more than normal, I think. So I can't see the cows going out till first or second week in April, hopefully. How do government regulations affect your farming practices? Would you consider them more burdensome than when you first started? Certainly. We are regulated a lot more. Things like milk, we have farm assurance, and we've got to go through the hoops on all that. Things like the traceability of the cows with cattle passports and stuff like that. Some of them are necessary, but it does mean, well, my brother spends a lot of time doing paperwork, which is hard work really. How many cows do you have a year? Can't answer that for sure. I'm not sure about that. I have to check, and I'm not going to bother. Sorry. Is Irish and UK farming going down the wrong route in general, increase in herd size and farming size produce more when dairy markets are always on the verge of oversupply? Should we concentrate on quality products rather than mass production? That's a really difficult one. I can understand why people are keen to get bigger, because obviously there is economy of scale, and you know, everyone who's ambitious wants to see things grow and do better. The biggest problem is though, the more you produce, the less the price of the milk. And you know, my father, when he started, produced milk with 7 or 8 cows and made a living. And we've gone up. We're only little. We're only doing 70 cows, but it's almost like there's a treadmill to get bigger, but you're actually not really getting better off if the milk price isn't increasing. Because the thing is, the milk price ought to be 40, 50p a litre now, really, because we were getting 26p sort of back in the 90s. So really, if you oversupply the market and produce more and more, then all you're doing is flooding it and the price is coming down, so that isn't anyone's help at all. About the McCormick tractor, any tractor you really want to purchase. It'd be just nice to have changed them all to new ones, but that's a bit of a pipe dream. We've done all that one before Brexit. How often is your TP test? We've got one coming up soon, every 6 months at the moment. Hopefully if we do pass it again, we might go on yearly, I'm not sure. Which milk company do you send your milk to? Muller? Muller. Anytime in the future you're going to upgrade your dairy? Not at the moment. I know someone else asked the milk parlour. You obviously all think my milk and parlour is knackered. Well, you're a bit right really, but it does the job, you know. The main thing is, what you've got to understand on this farm is everyone would like to see new tractors and new milking parlours and things, but they all cost money. Now the thing is, what we've got is a very volatile milk price at the moment. It's just gone down through the floor and come back up. If I keep borrowing money to pay for things and then the milk price goes through the floor, then we could be bankrupt basically. If we were, luckily, you see some farms are very lucky because if they supply a supermarket like Sainsbury's or Tesco's, they're on a cost production price that actually pays quite well, but also it's a very steady price. It doesn't dip like this, like ours does with the volatility. So they can then afford to invest because they're pretty confident of what they're going to earn. So those guys are powering ahead a lot more than the farmers like me. It's a two-tier system at the moment, and it's unfortunate we don't get that benefit. Where do you see the future of small-scale dairy farming with milk prices like they are? Well, it's going to be very difficult, I can honestly say. What wildlife do you have and see on your farm? Oh, that's a good question. I do like the wildlife on the farm. See some deer. I've seen a muntjac deer occasionally as well, which is not quite unusual around here. We've got barn owls, obviously foxes, badgers, buzzards. I'm trying to think what else. A lot of pheasants in the winter, near a shoot as well. But lots of just general little birds and things. It was quite satisfying to see them really. How many cows? Do you like New Hollands? In terms of milk production, do you try and specialise in a particular area? For example, high yielding animals or high fat content? If so, how do you try and achieve that? Well, we have bred our cows. We're not high yielders, but we do have a high butter fat, and that's quite good. And that's just through breeding. That's my brother's department really. Is your herd pedigree? Have you always had Friesians? We're not pedigree. We have always had British Friesians, although I think there was a Shorthorns in my dad's time, so going back a long time. I work on a farm and you don't get time off because of the work. Do you ever get time off and spend a day or go away with your family? That's very important to me to actually spend time with my family. It's a good question, I like that, David Brown. It's very important to spend time with my kids, as you probably noticed on this video, and I make sure we always have a holiday once a year. It is difficult. I don't get many days off. I think last year I probably had about 12 days off holiday in total, and I work weekends as well, so it's 12, not many days off really completely, but I do see a lot of my kids anyway because they come with me on the farm and do things anyway. This one's asked me about cow's abortion, Neospora, which I covered in the previous video. So William, you know the answer to that. Can you do a new video of Jack and Harry on the farm? Yes, I will at some point. Do you have a slurry store on your farm? No, we don't. Sorry. How much? This is the Lego question. Alan Williams, you cheeky beep beep beep. How much Lego can you stick up your bum? I'm 2 long pieces and 1 rectangular piece. I wasn't going to read that out, but it's just so stupid. It made me laugh. But I think I probably can't fit as much Lego up my bum as you can, Alan Williams. So there's an answer. And on that note, I'd like to say I do try and keep my videos clean and the comments clean on them. Joking aside, I will delete anyone who swears on my videos because realistically a lot of young kids look at these videos and I don't want them to be influenced by that sort of thing. So keep it clean, people, otherwise you're going to get deleted, and I might even, if you keep persistently doing that, I will ban you. Would you ever expand? Let me see now, here's one. I notice you spread muck on your fields pretty regularly. Is that a form of fertilizer? I also seen you or contract apply granular fertilizer. The granular is just an addition to muck. The so-called muck, which you here we call it manure, that I get in stores, nothing close to what you spread on your fields. Well, yep, that's the cow muck, and that goes back on the fields. Certainly adds a lot of nutrition to the ground, and then basically we top up with granular fertilizer as well in some of the fields, try and get a balance of that. Do Jack and Harry come on the farm a lot? Yeah, quite a lot. Most weekends they're up there, or not every weekend, but it's difficult. They're very young, and I've got to be very careful because it's a hazardous place, and especially Harry, I don't want him there all the time and get knocked over. How many times do you milk your cows a day? Twice a day. Do you like pineapples? Do you like pineapples? Quite like a pineapple, yeah. I'm glad it wasn't involving anything to do with what you suggested. Someone suggested with the Lego. What do you think your brother think about you filming the farm, as he doesn't appear on many of the videos? Yeah, my brother's not interested in the videoing really, and I don't film him. That's his choice, really, and I got to respect that. But to be honest, you don't see my brother in the videos, but he is an incredible help on the farm, really. We run it together, and although he's not in all the videos, he does a lot of work. And also he does a lot of the paperwork, which I haven't got time to do if I'm out on the farm. So much respect to Tom. Would you ever consider investing in different species of livestock, such as sheep, pigs? Might get some pigs again at some point. Do you think as dairy producer you're better off staying in Europe? Now with the Brexit processing start, do you think as a milk producer you're better off out of Europe? Oh, that's a good question. I'm not really sure. I can't answer that. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. I am worried about the loss of subsidy if we come out of the EU, because we get single farm payment, which helps keep us afloat really, and when the milk price is really low, that did keep us going. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there. If we don't get a single farm payment, we're not going to be able to compete with Europe very well, because they're already going to be getting it. So our products won't necessarily be competitive. Do you ever fatten a beef animal for freezer? No, I've never done that. I've done a pig for a freezer, but I'm worried about how much beef we get. We might not have a freezer big enough. What prospects do you have for 2017? Is there something you would do differently from 2016? Yeah, I'd keep my dad alive. I mean that. No, that's not a nice joke. I don't mean that. Yeah, no. I hope we can carry on, and milk price will be good for 2017. That was a bit flippant of me there, really. But who knows what the future brings. Make some charity for yourself. Make it possible for viewers to donate to a new milking parlour. $1 a viewer goes a long way. Just an idea. Someone else has said about doing donations and stuff. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that at the moment. I think in America on YouTube there was a tip button that you could do at one point. I might set up something for a little project I might do next year, which is restore an old stone style on the farm. I might try and do that as a crowdfunding thing or something. I'm not sure. But if you want to help out, watch some of the. If you click on the adverts on my videos, I do get a few pence, but don't spam it and go mad, because if you do that, I'll get chucked off, or you'll get chucked off of YouTube. So, but if you do watch any of the videos, I do get a few pence. Favourite tractor, blah blah blah. We've seen that already. What do you consider of organic farming? Do you rear your own cow calves? Organic farming is great. I don't actually do it myself, but good luck to anyone who does it. Yes, we rear all our calves. Right, we're coming near the end. Still quite. Let me see. We've got. See how many questions we got left. I think we've got about 20. Let's see how we go. Do you have any tips for making farming financially successful? Being financially successful. Well, I think you've got to, as a farmer in this day and age, you've got to learn a lot of skills, and you can't do everything yourself, but if you can try and pick up plenty of trades or different skills off of other people, you will save money. Because the thing is, you've probably seen me have a go, a little bit of mechanics, a little bit of welding, a little bit of rebuilding a wall, jobs like that. Now, if you can do all that, you can certainly save a lot of money, because I think our mechanics are like 60 quid an hour and stuff. So you need to try and do a lot of things. That's just a basic tip I can give you. Get as many skills as you can. What age do you wean your cows? Well, we take them off the cows at about 2 weeks, and then they're on milk for probably another 5 weeks or something like that after that, perhaps. A bit of a balance. As they eat more solid food, we reduce the amount of milk they have, but you know, they can go on longer than that. Depends how they do, really. What do you prefer, tractor loader or telehandler? Would you ever go into telehandler route? Well, I quite like the tractor loader, purely because we can use a tractor as well as the as for loading as well as, sorry, we can use the tractor as a tractor as well as using it as a loader. Whereas the problem with the telehandler, it's not any good as a tractor. So really, I don't think we'll get a telehandler for that reason. I'm going to buy a new muck spreader. Hopefully one day, not sure when. Are your cows purebred Friesians or cross? No, they're purebred Friesians. I don't understand this one, so I'll move on. Would you ever consider making your own driven pheasant shoot if you haven't already done one? Not really, we haven't really got a scope for that really. So probably not. And there's one from Roger Namvet. Oh, it's a long question. It's one about music, playing music to cows, and it's quite a good one actually. It's all about you've seen videos of people playing trombones to cows and stuff. Would you ever would this work if you tried playing music on portable CD players to cows? Well, that might be quite fun, mightn't it? I don't know. I'll try and do that at some point. I won't read all that because it's a really long one. Do you shoot or have a shotgun? I have a shotgun. It's my dad's old one. I have a shotgun license, but I haven't shot anything for a long time. To be honest, I do clay shooting really because I actually a bit of a wuss really. I'd rather see something alive. If I see a pheasant on the farm, I'd rather see it walking around than shoot it really. But you know, each their own. What do you think will be good about and also challenging issues facing British farmers after breakfast? Well, like I said, single farm payment and things like that. Cheeky 2 questions, but we'll allow that because we haven't got many more questions left. Have you ever had a cow heifer give birth triplets? No, only twins. When was the last C-section you had to do? That's caesarean section. That's where you cut the side of the cow open to get a calf out if it's too big to come out the normal way. Not for a couple of years, but I don't really want to do that because they're really expensive. You have to get the vet in. Okay, so what's your views on organic dairy farming? We've done that. And how long has the family been in the farm been in the family? We've done that as well. So really, there we go. I've finished. Right. I hope that's answered your questions. Most of them. I'm sorry if you're one of the people that I've skipped over because I felt that we've covered it already. But there you go. We've done the Funky Farmer questions. Okay, cheers everyone. I can see my battery's nearly flat on this and I'm nearly flat. So I'm going to have a cup of tea now. Cheers.